Ah, Christmas time, that beautiful time of the year when we get things out and we decorate our houses. And we all know what happens. We get the Christmas tree out, we put lights on it, we put ornaments on it, we cover it with ribbons and decorations, and then we go, wow, this is beautiful. I want to take a picture of the Christmas tree. We get the camera out and we focus, we set it up, and we go boom, and we take a picture, and it just doesn't look very good. So today we're going to talk about how to photograph your Christmas tree. Well, first of all, we're going to have to get your camera out of automatic mode. Let's get your white balance set correctly first. Now, you'll probably need to set that on tungsten or incandescent. It looks like a little light bulb in your white balance settings. If your camera happens to have a Kelvin setting, then that's really where you want to go, is to put it into Kelvin and get it down to 1200, 2000 degrees Kelvin. That's about where Christmas lights happen to hang out. That's the first thing we're going to do, is get our color balance right. Secondly, we're going to put the exposure in manual, and we're going to get a tripod out because we're going to have a really long exposure here. Set your shutter speed for about 1/8 of a second. Now use your in-camera meter to determine your base exposure. Go ahead and turn off all the room lights at this point. Take your picture, your first image, and look at the histogram. Not just the review, but the histogram, because we're looking for certain information right now. What we want to do is base our exposure on the brightest part of the picture, which happens to be the lights in this situation. So, we're going to take a picture and we're going to look at the histogram. We want to make sure that the lights are not flashing, they're not blown out in our picture. We may need to adjust our exposure one way or the other to make sure that we are getting the maximum amount of mileage out of these lights, because the lights are bright, so therefore we should have pixels way on the right side of the histogram, but not on the far right of the histogram. It should not be up against the edge, it should be almost against the edge, and you should have indication in your histogram that that's where you're at in those highlights of those lights. You may need to adjust your exposure to do that. If your information is pushed far against the right hand side, then you need to close your lens down, or you need to speed your shutter speed up. If you only have pixels going out to the middle of your histogram, then you need to open your f-stop up or slow your shutter speed down. Okay, now that's given us a good starting point for our exposure. The problem that just occurred, if you're looking at your picture, is the lights look great, however the rest of the tree looks pretty dark. To compensate for that, we need to bring in light from this side, and to do that we're going to turn the room lights on. Now you may have to do some adjusting in terms of how much room lights, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to create enough light coming in from this direction that it balances out the lights from the trees. Now your exposure shouldn't have to change too much at this point, because our exposure is based on the lights, the brightest part of the picture. You may need to bring in a little more light into your room, you may need to turn a little bit of lights off, but either way, balance that a little bit, play with it, make sure that there's nothing against the far left edge of your histogram, because that's indicating that you have areas of pitch blackness, and it's not really what we want with our tree. So experiment a little bit with that. Eventually you will get the perfect balance between the room light and the lights from the tree. Add a little cross filter to it, give the lights a little sparkle, and voila, you have a beautiful Christmas tree. Thanks for listening. For more photo tips, stay tuned to this channel or go to our website, oklahomaphotography.school.com.